Oh my god, this is so good. He always compliments me. It's like he's addicted to it. I don't really know how. Welcome back everyone to another video. This one is a little bit different. I thought I would kind of feature different fragrances that my partner really loves on me. Some of these might actually surprise you. Some of them might, you know, you guys will know them already. But I just thought it'd be fun because it happened the other day when my partner kind of like complimented me on a specific fragrance, and it really shocked me. I wasn't expecting him to compliment me on that one, and I think a lot of you ladies will kind of like relate with me. There'll be some fragrances or some samples that you're testing and they might not be ones that you wear like on an everyday basis, but then all of a sudden you just compliments you all the time on that specific fragrance. So I hope you guys really like this video. If you do, give it a like, give it a thumbs up down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll just jump straight into it. So the first fragrance that I have will be quite a shock to I think a lot of you, but some of you who did watch my affordable fragrance video, you'll already know that my boyfriend absolutely adores this fragrance. I think because it kind of smells a little bit like Coco Mademoiselle mixed with maybe like a La Vie Belle. It's a very floral, almost leaning a little bit cheaper type of fragrance, but has a lot of sweetness. So this is Madame Gres from Gres, and this is a really cheap fragrance. I think I bought it for something ridiculous like 13 or 14 pounds, and I've been wearing it just to go to the gym basically, or if I don't want to use any of my really nice fragrances, I'll use this one because it is so cheap. And whenever I spray it, he always compliments me, and even on himself he sprayed this and I even thought it smelled really nice considering it is a floral heavy fragrance. So in the top it's a fairly fruity fragrance, so you have pineapple, you have grapefruit, and to me, definitely the grapefruit shines in this fragrance. It gives like a slight bitterness but sweetness in the top, and then you have a lot of different like floral notes going on, like magnolia, freesia, just very like standard floral notes, nothing too crazy. And then in the base, you have your typical patchouli, which I don't really like patchouli that much, but in this fragrance, I think it does really well because you have the balance of the grapefruit and the florals, as well as maybe like some sandalwood, maybe even some vanilla to sweeten it up. But apart from that, as I said, it's a very standard fragrance. It's like a fruity floral with it having pineapple, grapefruit, and then leaning into that chypre type of vibe where you have like a bit of patchouli and some mossiness in the base. It's quite a classy fragrance, and considering it is like leaning a little bit floral fruity, imagine most women can wear this of all ages, to be fair, like even up to maybe about, you know, 70, 80 years old. I think anyone can wear and pull this one off. And as I said, with it being such an inexpensive fragrance, I think this is a great everyday wear. So as I said, whenever I do go to the gym, sometimes we do work out together, he will always compliment me on this one. So that is Madame Gres from Gres. So the next fragrance again might shock a few of you because I literally only have a travel spray of it. I'll be completely honest, every single time that I've worn this, I've always had a compliment from him, and to the point where he's always asking kind of which fragrance I'm wearing, which typically he won't because he knows that I collect a lot of fragrances and he knows that I wear a lot of fragrances. So for him, it's not really that he's genuinely intrigued to see what brand or what fragrance that I'm wearing that specific day. He'll just say, oh, you smell really nice, or you smell beautiful. But this one, he always asks what I'm wearing, and this is Veronique Gabai Ready for Rosé. This is an absolute stunner. I'm really tempted to buy it for Black Friday, but it is a little bit more of an expensive fragrance. So I'm just kind of like umming and ahhing, considering I have a lot of fragrances in my collection, and then I do question myself, like, do I really need to buy another one? Maybe I'll do a video around maybe buying fragrances and the reality of buying fragrances. I don't know whether that's going to be too rambly, but anyway, this is a really gorgeous peony rose champagne fragrance. I'm scared to even spray this because I love it that much, and wow, this is absolutely gorgeous. Even not from him, but from other women, I get a lot of compliments, so clearly it's doing really well. And I think because it's such an interesting fruity floral kind of fragrance, you have a lot of rhubarb. Oh my god, this is so good. Some citruses in the top, but it's not like a bitter citrus, it's like candied. Wow, this is so good, guys. I always forget how nice this one is. And then goes into almost like a champagne like juicy tart rose, mixed with a bit of peony. Peony can smell quite similar to rose, but I find it can go a little bit more fizzier. This one almost has like a very juicy macerated Damascus rose. It's not that powdery rose or vintage rose that you find in some fragrances. And on top of all of this, you have like some aquatic notes, some ozonic mineralistic notes. So it almost has like a bit of an ethereal vibe to it. Overall, it's just a really complex fruity floral fragrance. And I think typically a lot of women, whenever I say, oh, this is a fruity floral, they immediately associate it to smelling boring. And I don't think that's always the case, just because it has that olfactory group of maybe being a little bit more standard doesn't mean that that specific fragrance will smell boring. This one is absolutely stunning. I've had people follow me literally and ask me what I'm wearing. This for the summer will be unreal, or even the spring, to be fair. This will be a really nice addition. And as I said, my partner, who typically never really asks me what I'm wearing, will always ask me every single time when I spray this, Pika, what are you wearing? You smell really, really nice. So if you guys have never tried it before, definitely give Ready for Rosé from Veronique Gabai a go. Now moving on to something which might again surprise a lot of you, because typically, I don't know, my partner's really strange. He has his own type of style of fragrances that he enjoys. So for him, on himself, it's like citruses, fruity, maybe a little bit more aromatic. This one is almost not the opposite of it, but it's very, very sweet, and I didn't think that he would enjoy it as much as he does. So this is Portrayal from Amouage. Yes, I know the emblem is gone. It's because I've been wearing it that much, and again, I need to get myself another bottle. You know, a lot of people ask me, Pika, how do you go through so many of your fragrances? And generally, I don't know. I think because I've been collecting for so many years and I use so much fragrance, like, I won't be that type of person that only wears one a day. I'll have one in the morning, I'll have one, you know, maybe when I come back, and maybe towards the evening and night. So I can wear between 2 or 3 fragrances within the day. And, you know, kind of depending on what type of fragrance I wear, I can spray heavily. Most times I don't if I'm out and about, because obviously I don't want to like annoy anyone. But this one is absolutely gorgeous. If you've never tried it before, oh my lord. Again, this is for people who like something quite bubblegummy and sweet. This is not for the faint of heart, and it is a little bit more unique because it has tuberose, jasmine, it has elemi, and I've said this a number of different times on my channel, but elemi kind of has a bit of a Coca-Cola-esque vibe when it comes to resins. Like there's elemi, olibana, and the tuberose mixed with the jasmine. It almost goes to that indolic, bubblegummy, banana-esque type of vibe. So if you can imagine literal bubblegum sweets, maybe surrounded by some white bushy florals, that's literally what I'm getting in this fragrance. It's very thick, it's dense, it's sweet. So this one I really wouldn't overspray. I would only do maybe like a few sprays and you're done. And what I love about this, it projects really well, has a really great sillage, and every single time that I've worn it, he's always complimented me on it, and he's always asked me, oh my gosh, what are you wearing? So typically, you know, he doesn't like super uber sweet fragrances, but this one for some reason he just really enjoys on me. Maybe because it has like that fun candy type of vibe to it. It's not such a serious fragrance. If you want to smell a little bit more playful, a little bit more fun, then I think this is a really great alternative. It is a little bit more on the expensive side, so if you can get a bottle, definitely get it on a discount if you can. So yeah, if you've never tried Portrayal from Amouage, definitely give it a go. So the next fragrance that I have, of course, is from Ormonde. Now I was really kind of torn between Damask, this one, and Taif, because in all honesty, my partner loves all 3 of them. He absolutely loves them on me, and because obviously we're quite close and he'll come close to me and he'll cuddle me, a lot of these sometimes sit a little bit closer to the skin, and I think that's what does really well with this particular fragrance. Every time that he hugs me or gets close to me, he absolutely loves it. So this is Bukhara from Ormonde. Now I've already featured this a few times on my channel, and a lot of you have been quite intrigued by this fragrance because it is one of their newest releases. So there's this one, and then there's also, I think it's Cashmere. Both of them are really lovely. I find Cashmere to be a little bit more spicy, almost like a little bit leathery almost, whereas this one is definitely like quite a rich white floral, slightly sweet fruity type of fragrance, and it's really beautiful. It's almost like, and I've said this before, but it's almost like Vert Malachite from Armani. You know, the one in the green bottle, and Golistan from Andy Tower. It's like the two had a baby. It's quite a rich white floral fragrance, but then also has like a little bit of a greenness and bitterness to it, which I really enjoy. So I believe there's black currant in the top, which a lot of the La Route de la Soie collection has a lot of fruitiness in the top, whether that's black currant, whether that's citruses like bergamot, and then slowly kind of transitions into a slightly indolic white floral-esque type of mid, but it's not overly sweet. It's almost a little bit woody and green with the white florals in a weird way, but then all ends with a very simplistic, musky, woody type of base. I will say is that it changes a lot on the skin. So what happens with me with this one is that I become nose blind to it literally within like an hour or two, and I think to myself, oh my gosh, I'm not wearing any fragrance, like I can hardly smell it. And then all of a sudden somebody will compliment me and they'll say, oh my gosh, you smell so good, which in this scenario it's typically my boyfriend. But also after a few hours I tend to get like a bit of a whiff of something, and I think to myself, what smells that good? I always think that it's other people around me because it smells so different, and then I realize it's this. It's always this fragrance. It's so bizarre. It really plays tricks on your nose, and I think that makes it a little bit more special. Worked with Ormonde in the past, and if you've ever been curious and you want to save yourself a little bit of money, then use Pico Scent because it kind of gives you about 10% off, which I think this one is 170, so would give you about 20 quid off, which I think is a decent amount. So anyway, this is Bukhara from Ormonde, and if you guys have never tried this before. So the next fragrance that I have will definitely not be a surprise for anyone who watches me regularly. You'll all know how much my boyfriend loves this fragrance. This, for him, is his most favorite fragrance on me. He absolutely adores it to the point where every single time that I wear it, it's like he's addicted to it. I don't really know how. And he's always said to me that this is my fragrance. And I always find that to be a massive compliment because I think it smells rather unique. I don't think everyone can pull this off. But I think it's really gorgeous. So this is Cuir Grenat from L'Artisan Parfumeur. You guys will see how much I've worn of this fragrance, and I haven't even had it really for that long. And considering I have a lot of fragrances in my collection, that just shows how much I absolutely adore this fragrance. And not that I wear fragrances for my boyfriend to constantly compliment me. I wear whatever I like, don't get me wrong guys, but this one he goes nuts over. So this is quite simply a raspberry leather fragrance. It's really tart, it's sweet, it's dark, it's suede-y, it's just absolutely gorgeous. I've already done like a video surrounding this particular fragrance. At one point it was my signature scent, and I think to this day it relatively is a signature scent for me. My camera died again. What I was saying is that this has really become a signature scent for me, especially because what I love about this is obviously you have the raspberry in the beginning, which is very tart, but then the leather is a very smooth suede, almost dark type of leather, and kind of the contrast between the two is really beautiful. So you have that freshness, that sweetness, but then also that dryness from the leather. And I think this is just perfect on like a day-to-day wear. And the reason why I say that is because obviously the tartness is perfect just during the day. If you're like hanging around with people, or even if you're in the office, it's amazing. But also because of the darkness of the leather, this is great for a transitional into evening nightwear. So if you're going out, if you're maybe, you know, going with some girls for some drinks, or wherever you're going on a date night, for instance, this is a really perfect fragrance. If you've never given it a go, definitely give Cuir Grenat from L'Artisan Parfumeur a try. Last but certainly not least, this one again might surprise a few of you because I wouldn't say this particularly projects very well. It again sits very close to the skin, but whenever I do wear it, he always compliments me on it, and I think he doesn't really realize what I'm wearing until I tell him what I'm wearing. So this is Casablanca Lily from Byredo. This is part of the extracts, like the Night Veils collection. So they have Run de Nuit, Vanille Antique, they have this one. I think they've added like a few of them quite recently. So these are essentially like extracts of their entire range. So typically they're eau de parfums, whereas these have a little bit higher of an oil concentration. And with it having a higher oil concentration, I think people assume that it will project or that it will have a really great sillage, and that's not always the case. Whenever you have a higher oil concentration, it will last longer on your skin, but it doesn't mean that it will necessarily project. It's typically other synthetic type of compounds that do that, so whether that's Isoe Super and Broxin, etc., those will definitely get you compliments 100%, but these tend to sit a bit close to the skin. So this is a really beautiful honey, plum and white floral fragrance. It's a really quite a particular type of white floral fragrance, so if you're into more indolic, jasmine, tuberosy type of fragrances, then I think you'd really enjoy this. But this is all sweetened by quite a dark molasses type of honey. What I also really enjoy about this fragrance is that the plum in here is quite fruity. So typically whenever fragrance or whenever perfumers add plum into their fragrances, it tends to go a little bit dry and pruny, whereas this one has still like the fruitiness, the tartness and the richness from the plum, but then all sweetened by this dark, like almost manuka type of honey. As well as the white florals as well. You have like lily of the valley in here. You can't actually extract from lily itself, so it's almost like a ghost note. So they'll add different fragrance notes like carnation, lily of the valley, etc., to kind of create that lily-esque type of note, because lilies are very pungent but you can't extract from them. So this is like a ghost decor to make up that lily type of smell. It's just really beautiful. It's sweet, it's mysterious, it's thick, it's rich, it's a really beautiful fragrance. He always said to me, Pika, I absolutely love this fragrance. You know, I get compliments from it, and particularly if somebody is quite close to you and if they're in your vicinity, then I think this definitely will garner you compliments. So if you've never tried it before, definitely give Casablanca Lily a go from Byredo. So guys, that is it for today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed something a little bit different. If you were kind of intrigued to see what my boyfriend really likes on me, and if you did like this video, as I said in the beginning, please give it a like, thumbs up. It really helps with the channel, and hopefully I will see you soon.